Picture a tree standing alone in a vast, open field. Its roots stretch deep into the ground, unseen yet absolutely vital for its stability. Above the soil, its branches reach toward the sky, covered in countless leaves that sway gently in the breeze. Each leaf carries the essence of the tree, yet when autumn arrives, they fall one by one, leaving the tree bare and exposed to the elements. This image, simple yet profound, mirrors the relationship between parents and children. The roots symbolize the parents providing stability and nourishment, while the leaves represent the children growing, flourishing, and eventually following their own path. Still, even as the leaves fall, their essence remains within the tree, contributing to its growth and renewal. But what happens when this natural flow is disrupted? When the wind, instead of gently guiding the leaves, becomes a storm, introducing tension and conflict. Imagine a common scenario. A father sits at the dinner table, looking at his teenage son, who is absorbed in his phone. After a moment's pause, the father takes a deep breath and asks, "Have you thought about what you want to do with your future?" The son, without lifting his eyes from the screen, replies indifferently, "I don't know. Why does it matter?" The father feels a sharp pang of frustration. He recalls all the sacrifices he made for his son, working late nights, foregoing personal comforts to ensure his family had everything they needed. And now, this response, this lack of gratitude. But what about the son? Beneath his seemingly indifferent exterior, there's a different kind of pain. He feels overwhelmed by expectations he doesn't fully understand, and struggles to express his emotions. The result? A distance between them, a silent conflict that neither knows how to resolve. Why do relationships that begin with unconditional love and care often devolve into misunderstandings, frustration, and even resentment? What can the timeless wisdom of Zen and Buddhism teach us about this dynamic and how to transform it? In a village nestled among mountains, a Zen master was known for his ability to help people resolve conflicts. One day, a father and his teenage son approached him. The father, clearly frustrated, said, "My son doesn't respect me. He doesn't listen, doesn't help, and doesn't appreciate all the sacrifices I've made for him." The son, equally upset, retorted, "My father doesn't understand me. He's always criticizing me, always trying to control what I do." The Zen master listened patiently, then led them to his garden. Picking up a small acorn, he held it in his palm and said, "This seed has the potential to grow into a mighty oak tree, but it needs the right conditions, fertile soil, sunlight, and water. Now tell me, what happens if the soil refuses to nourish the seed or the sun hides its light?" The father quickly responded, "The seed won't grow." The master nodded and turned to the son. "And what happens if the seed tries to grow too quickly, before its roots are strong enough?" The son thought for a moment before answering, "It will fall with the wind." The master smiled. "You are both correct. The seed and the soil depend on each other. The soil cannot force the seed to grow, and the seed cannot blame the soil for not giving enough. Both must work in harmony, trusting the natural flow of life." Another Zen story tells of a bamboo and a rock growing side by side. The bamboo, flexible and resilient, swayed with the wind, bending but never breaking. The rock, solid and immovable, endured rain and storms without shifting. One day, after a particularly strong storm, the bamboo turned to the rock and asked, "How do you withstand the force of the wind without moving?" The rock replied, "I don't need to move because my strength lies in my stillness." The bamboo reflected for a moment and replied, "And I don't need to resist because my strength lies in my flexibility." This story beautifully illustrates the essence of parent-child relationships. Parents often see themselves as the rock, providing stability and guidance, while children resemble the bamboo, seeking growth and independence. Harmony is not achieved when one tries to become like the other, but when both recognize and honor their unique roles. The teachings of Zen and Buddhism show us that conflicts often arise from attachment, particularly to expectations. Parents may become attached to the idea of how their children should behave, expecting gratitude, respect, and obedience. Children, on the other hand, may cling to the need for autonomy and validation, expecting unconditional understanding from their parents. But these unspoken expectations create invisible barriers. A parent might think, "I've sacrificed so much for my child, why can't they appreciate it?" Meanwhile, the child feels, "I just want to be accepted for who I am, without constant judgment." In Zen, there is a saying, "When the water is still, it reflects the sky, but when it is agitated, the reflection becomes distorted." This reminds us that clarity in relationships does not come from controlling the other person, but from calming our own mind and heart. Another key concept in Buddhism is impermanence. Everything is constantly changing. The baby who once relied entirely on their parents grows into a teenager seeking independence. The parent, once a symbol of strength and protection, grows older and becomes vulnerable. Resisting these changes only leads to suffering, while embracing them allows us to appreciate each moment as unique. Imagine if every interaction with your parent or child was seen as something that would never happen again. Would the small irritations matter as much? Or would you find more space for gratitude and connection? One of the most powerful practices in Zen is deep listening. This is not just about hearing the words, but understanding the emotions behind them. A child's outburst might be a cry for attention, while a parent's criticism might stem from fear or insecurity. Thich Nhat Hanh, a renowned Zen teacher, suggests that when we listen, we should do so with the intention to understand, not to respond. This type of listening, accompanied by silence, creates space for healing. Instead of reacting, take a moment to pause, breathe, and truly hear the other person. In the quiet between words, we often find the connection we seek. Finally, Zen teaches us that compassion begins within. Parents who blame themselves for their mistakes and children who feel inadequate must first learn to be kind to themselves. A simple exercise can help. Place your hand over your heart, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, "I forgive myself for my mistakes. I am learning and growing every day." This small yet powerful gesture creates a foundation of compassion that extends to others. Parent-child relationships are not perfect, nor do they need to be. Harmony does not come from eliminating conflicts, but from a shared willingness to grow together. Ask yourself, how can I listen more deeply to my parent or child? What expectations can I let go of? Am I willing to set aside my ego and show my true self? If this message resonated with you, share it with someone special, a parent, a child, or even a friend who might need to hear it. Leave a comment below to share which part of this reflection touched you the most. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Remember, just like the tree and the wind, relationships flourish when we learn to adapt, let go, and trust the natural flow of life. Thank you for watching.